is here, IPL fever is here, and we have to discuss that. So to discuss more of that, valuation of the IPL business, how is this headed, we are joined by Karan Taurani, Senior VP at Elara Securities. Also, we do have Santosh, Managing Partner at DNP Advisories, joining in with us as well. A very good afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining in with us on ET Now. Karan, let me start with you. So, which match are you the most excited for? Which team are you supporting this time?
Hi, so I'm supporting CSK. Most excited for the match of Mumbai versus CSK.
Excited for the match, but valuation surely are looking very exciting as well, right? Given that it's increasing every year, Karan, what is it that in terms of the valuation story you see for IPL? Where do we see it headed? Because it's become so expensive now.
So I think valuations depend in terms of revenue potential, right? And revenue potential has multiplied, for the franchise teams. Plus, the number of teams have also gone up. We had about 8 teams, now we have 10 teams. Number of matches have gone up by 20%. So I'm saying the reasons for valuations, growing are these reasons as well. The bigger reason here is the media rights, right? So what happened last year when the media rights, the auction, came for renewal, the growth there was about 2.5 to 3 times. So on a per match basis, the revenue, the cost of the media rights, went up almost about 2 times as compared to the earlier cycle. And this big surge was led by higher content cost on the digital, because digital content cost went up by close to 4 to 5 times as compared to the earlier cycle on like basis. So clearly, platforms are paying this kind of money. Platforms are bidding aggressively to buy out rights of IPL because they believe that there is a potential to monetize revenues from it. And this has been a big contributor, as I say, in terms of overall property valuation, because close to 80 to 90% of the franchise team revenue does come from advertising and media rights, which is being shared between the teams. So this is one very big driver, and of course the last was also scarcity premium, right? We've got about 7 to 8, and then we went on to 10 teams, and tomorrow if there are 2 more teams which are coming, even they could be sold at a very hefty premium. So I think these are potential reasons in terms of why the valuations have been moving up consistently over the last 16, 17 years.
Absolutely, that's why we're seeing that increase consistently. Santosh, good afternoon. Thank you so much. So, Karan is a CSK fan. I'm a Mumbai Indian fan. Which team is yours?
By heart, I am an RCB fan. I am a Bangalorean, so I am a RCB fan.
That would be exciting to watch all these matches then. RCB, CSK, Mumbai Indians. Maybe we all should catch up on that. But, I also want to talk in terms of ad spends that we're seeing, right? Santosh, in terms of the focus that is there. How do you see the ad spend growth this year? Anything specific that you're seeing in terms of the trend there?
So ad spends are largely, last couple of years have been muted, more so because one section of the companies that are spending on ads are basically the new age digital companies, or the startups that we call. And the last 2 years have not been great for startup ecosystem. The funding has dried up, and that has resulted in most of the startups revisiting their ad spends, looking at ROI, and trying to see where they want to spend and where they want to actually cut budgets. And that has resulted in ad spends not being great in the last 2 years. At least the growth has not been great in the last 2 years. And we feel that that trend to continue at least this year, because situation has not changed for one section of the advertisers, which is basically the new age digital companies, the startups. So from that perspective, we see some sort of an inflationary growth, but not a significant jump is what is expected.
Right. Karan, just talking about ad spends also, let's just put the spotlight in terms of how ad spends overall generally is shifting, right? And moving more towards the sports side. So what is that impact that one could see of this moving in the ad spends overall as well?
So 2 things have happened here. I think, any which ways we are seeing, shift of ad spends, towards digital platform in a very big manner. And sports somewhere has been the most resilient, right? So if you look at the TV AdX number in India, sports was about 10% of the TV AdX until about 5 to 7 years back. And currently today it's about 30 to 33%. So there's been a big jump in, sports kind of gaining here. at the cost of infotainment, English, and Hindi GEC genres. So regional news and sports are three genres, which are seeing some sort of a growth. Otherwise, all other genres are seeing a decline. So that's one. Secondly, what has happened is that spends have also moved from TV to digital in a very big manner. This is specific to sports. Because last year what we saw was disruptive in nature, because once Jio Cinema started to offer IPL free of cost, a large chunk of these spends were also moved to digital in a very big manner. And this is also, pertaining to connected TV ad spends, which actually came up as well. So if you look at IPL ad spends on TV last year, they reported a decline of close to about 25% as per our assessment. And digital spends, because of this IPL being free on Jio Cinema, grew by almost about 25 to 30%. So the point is that you are consistently seeing a shift wherein ad spends are moving to digital from TV. Like, for example, if you look at the pre-COVID times, 80% of IPL ad revenue was from TV. And today that number is about 55 odd percent. So there's a lion's share here. As far as TV is concerned, even today, TV is a larger medium. But because of growth in digital, because of constant shift in terms of consumption, because of this content being available free of cost, I think this traction towards digital will continue over the medium term.
Well, Karan, Soumit joining this side. Now moving to the stock market specific stocks or stocks that would get an impact actually from this IPL. What will happen to the QSR stocks? We have always seen and written about QSR stocks seeing more orders coming in during a cricket or any sports event. Then there is PVR Inox, which could see a slowdown in new movies coming in. So how do you see this IPL impacting specific stocks here right now?
So I think, IPL is an every year phenomena, and on the base, it's very much built here. On a YOY basis, one may not see, anything like a big positive surprise, but on a quarter-on-quarter basis, you will see traction here. So I think it's a big positive impact for Zomato versus the other QSR companies, because, that's what we saw during the World Cup as well. If you look at a company like Zomato, they were generally doing food revenue growth of somewhere close to about 25%, rather GOV growth of 15 to 18%, which turned down to 25 to 26% in that particular quarter of the World Cup. So I'm saying the Cricket World Cup, T20 World Cup is there in the month of June, and we have IPL as well. So on a Q-on-Q basis, we'll see that delta for Zomato. As far as QSR companies are concerned, not much of a big respite, because if you look at the market is kind of getting fragmented. The QSR companies are seeing pressure in terms of growth. And in terms of delivery contribution, it's only about 30-40% of their revenues which comes from delivery. So I'm saying it's a bigger delta for Zomato, versus the other QSR companies.
Okay, bigger delta for Zomato versus other QSR companies. But Santosh, I just want to know in terms of a couple of things, that how do you see in terms of where are you seeing more spends coming in from, which vertical is seeing more of the ad spends, who is spending more in the sports advertising now?
Actually, there's a trend moving towards the traditional companies, the FMCG companies, the automobile companies, which were the largest advertisement spenders maybe 5-10 years ago. But if you actually look at between 2017 and 2021-22, I think the biggest spenders or the largest spenders were actually the new age digital companies, whether it was tech companies, whether it was food tech companies, or e-commerce companies. These were some of the big spenders, but that has actually gone back to, I would say at least the last couple of years, because of the muted investment sentiment in the startup ecosystem. I think we are going back to the traditional companies, where automobile companies, FMCG companies are the bigger spenders now, at least in the last couple of years.
Okay, thank you so much, Santosh, as well as Karan, for joining in with us today on ET Now. It's a pleasure having you both on the show to talk about IPL and enjoy the matches as well. But let's focus.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.